Let's see if this is working. We don't know. We're wondering, are we live? Are we live? We might be live. Hey, how you doing, everybody? It's your buddy Uncle Bruce here, live from Tokyo. It's a Thursday, March the 19th at 9 o'clock in the evening here in Tokyo. So 6 o'clock in the morning Calgary time, 8 o'clock in the morning New York time. Am I right? How you doing, everybody? I'm way ahead of you. Your Thursday trading is going to start shortly here in Tokyo. Everyone here's gone home. Make sure I turn that off. Everyone here has gone home. Welcome all to another live show. Thought I'd go live today and talk a little bit more about Sofi, the markets. There's a war apparently going on. Who knew? And how are you? Is Sofi going to be in a short squeeze? That's my question right now. Is it possible? Is it remotely possible? Definitely going to happen? Is it possible that Sofi could be in a short squeeze if an activist investor were to make a move on the stock? Now, I'm not talking about an activist investor kicking out the manager, changing everything about the company. I'm talking about like a Warren Buffett kind of patient investor who would just buy up a bunch of stock and say, hey, it's 17 bucks. I'll take this paper on for 5 years. I'll take it on for 10. These guys are at 13 million members. They're growing by 10,000 members a day by now. I think that's 300,000 a month, $1 million a quarter. That's what they did last quarter. They might even be 12,000 members a day now. This thing is growing parabolically at 30-35% a quarter. Why wouldn't I, as a manager of a hedge fund with multi-millionaire dollars to manage, with a 5, 10, 20-year program for these folks, why wouldn't I buy Sofi down here at these rock bottom prices? It has nothing to do with oil. The company has nothing to do with the war. So nothing, negative can happen to these guys. They don't have Middle East branches. Their business isn't out of Dubai or anything like that. They're certainly in the future. They are where they should be as a bank, a fintech bank, no branches. Everyone is doing their banking and will do their banking off of mobile devices, that type of thing. So they're in the right, area technologically. They're in a very good business. They've got, despite this so-called short report, this is the perfect time to move in. There's so-called questioning about its future. Why not pick up 100 million shares of this stock? 17 bucks a shot. What's that? $1.7 billion investment. Sit on it for 10 years. Probably make 20 times your money. It'll be worth $3.5 billion. Because I believe that Sofi shares will be $170 to $200 a share within 10 years. But hey, love to have it happen even faster. So it's not even an S&P 500 company yet. But by scooping up 100 million free-floating shares out there, you've just put a restriction on how many shares are left to trade for those poor old shorters out there who are short now. Last report I think I saw, 138 million shares. That's 11% of the stock. 11% of the entire company is short. Free float, probably 10%, 10.5%, because insiders don't own 50% of the company. But, institutional investors probably own 55 to 60% of the stock out there. And if another large investor, which is theoretically an institutional player, could be, they'd have to report the buy and all that. They took out almost 9% of the stock. They're limited to 10% or less under the banking rules and all that stuff. You got yourself, I think, a short squeeze. I think you've got 300 million shares that could be scooped up to cover 130 million short position, And that means the retail investors own this thing, run this thing, control this stock. And we got ourselves a GameStop. We got ourselves a GameStop situation here, because at 17 bucks a share, 20 bucks a share, $24 a share, retail investors can buy thousands of shares. We're not talking you need millions of dollars to buy a couple of thousand shares of this stock. 1,000 shares of Sofi at $18 is 18 grand. Heck, give me a break. At $30 a share, 1,000 shares is still only 30,000. That is well within the realm of retail investor acquisition of paper. There will be retail investors buying 50 shares, 100 shares, 500 shares, 5,000 shares, 15,000 shares, you name it. But if the squeeze were to happen on this stock, and all of a sudden you had 1 million people trying to buy this stock, like GameStop, on a short squeeze, 1 million people buying 1 share each is 1 million shares. 1 million people buying 10 shares each is 10 shares. 1 million buying 100 is that 100 million? It's 100 million. 100 shares purchased by 1 million people is 100 million shares. That's this one investor I'm talking about. I'm talking about an activist investor that buys 100 million, could be matched by 1 million retail investors buying an average of 100 shares each. That's another 100 million. It's not going to be that small. You're going to get 1,000 shares, 500 shares per retail investor. You're going to get demand for stock that will be 500 million to 1 billion shares of demand for the stock. And there's maybe 350 million available max, because the rest is already owned by institutions. They're not going to sell if they see a short squeeze. They're going to go, hey, why get in the way of a good thing? Shorters are going to go, well, I'll try to short more, and I'll try to catch the top on this little run like they did with GameStop. Remember? Stupid money, dumb money. Remember that? We could have ourselves a most interesting run. That's what I'm wondering. I'm just a guy sitting in front of a computer in Tokyo, Japan, who's generally speaking in Canada, but right now in Tokyo, and saying, guys, what if an activist investor were to start gobbling up this stock as cheap as it is, thinking, hey, the worst case scenario in their eyes, I'll wait 5 years and I'll get 70, 80, 100 bucks a share for this thing over the next 5 years, because at a 30% growth rate, and with an estimated 60 cents a share profit this year, and probably $1 a share next year, and about $1.80 the year after that, net profit per share, $1.80 a share in 2 years, at $18 a share, that's a 10-time earnings multiple. Give me a break. It's going to trade at least 20. That's a $36 stock. So, hello, is anybody out there listening? Now, I know a particular entity out there. I know of an entity out there that is sitting on a mountain of money, a mountain of cash, where they could take about 1.7, 1.8 billion of their, $9.5 billion they're sitting on right now. They could easily make a move and pick up 100 million shares of this stock and just fold their arms and watch it go. As a matter of fact, that not only could they buy up the stock like that, they could then write options themselves on it. Of course, who am I talking about? I'm talking about GameStop, GME. Hello, is anybody out there paying attention? GameStop is sitting on almost $10 billion in cash, and they could pick up Sofi now for 17 bucks a share, 100 million shares. Heck, if they only bought 20 million shares, like just a fifth of that, 20 million shares, the kerfuffle that this would create in the market would be unprecedented. Because you've got to think to yourself, the meme crowd out there is looking for something to get into. And the meme crowd is willing to pounce at a moment's notice to get into anything that could really move. And if Ryan Cohen were to disclose that his GameStop company just bought 20 million shares of Sofi down here, on top of the fact that the CEO, Anthony Noto, is buying the stock personally himself down here, can you imagine how many millions of followers would be instantly aware of this story? The buzz on social media, the buzz in Reddit, the buzz on all the different platforms. Every YouTuber that covers SoFi every day loyally will be all over this story. And anyone following GameStop will be all over this story. Anyone following any other meme stuff will be aware of this move. A 20 million share buy by GameStop because of the meme factor could pop this stock $10 a share in less than a week. You'd be at $25 a share in no time, probably 25 to 30 in absolute record time. If then the buzz is, hey, wait a minute, they're buying more. You know, they announced they got 20 million, then they announced we just bought another 10, and then we bought another 10 million. This stock could be 30 share in like a week, 2 weeks. And GameStop will already be double their money on their initial move. Anyone following this stock will be up phenomenally. The market cap of SoFi would go right to $45 billion, close to $50 billion. That's now putting it in the S&P 500 ranking of market cap companies. Probably put it right into the middle of the grade. If GameStop ultimately moved into 100 million shares and they take that amount of paper off the street, and then their army of followers takes another 200 million off the street, which would be a no-brainer. GameStop shares will go to $40-50 a share. SoFi shares will go to $40-50 a share. It's a win-win on both sides. And think about this. Do you think that most clients of GameStop who are now in their 30s and 40s, remember, there are 10-year-olds and 15-year-olds and 20-year-olds all into GameStop, buying those games and playing those games, of course. But think about this. Over the last 30, 40 years, how many GameStop clients and followers of GameStop are in their 30s and 40s? They are already SoFi clients. If they've got any kind of a fintech account, they're likely SoFi. And aren't they the perfect candidate to be a SoFi client? One, the symbiotic relationship between the followers and customers of GameStop and SoFi are the same. SoFi is going after the 30 to 60-year-old market to go after all of their business. Makes sense to me. For GameStop, it would be a phenomenal investment. If the shares were to triple in price from 17 to 51, good old GameStop will take $1.7 billion. Again, this is theoretical. 100 million shares at $17 a share. They'll take $1.7 billion and turn it into $5.1 billion. It's $3.4 billion in profit for the company on the books, raising GameStop's value dramatically. And SoFi, it would be a $60-70 billion market cap company, earning its way to that level. Because in 2 years, it'll be $1.80 a share profit. 3 years, it'll be probably $3 a share per share profit. 20 times earnings at $3 a share, $60 stock. So I've just told you it's a $51 stock. It would be worth 60 on a 20-time multiple. Hey, I'm just a guy in Tokyo. You know, he's on his last week of vacation around the world before he gets back to Calgary. Just putting out a little service announcement for all the followers out there that have been on this channel over the years to tell you there's always a possibility that there could be a move such as this, where you get not an activist enemy investor, you have an ally investor, an activist ally. What's wrong with having a board member on SoFi like Ryan Cohen? What's wrong with having Ryan Cohen as a member of the board? Nothing. You could say, well, he's not a banker. Yeah, fair enough. He's not a banker, but he represents maybe 8% of the stock, the single largest shareholder of the company, other than a financial monster company. Think about it. He would own more than Noto, but he's not going to displace Noto. He's going to keep Noto right there because Noto has the kind of incentive package that Ryan Cohen has at GameStop. Remember Ryan Cohen's incentive package is coming up for a vote with the stock going to $100 a share and making Ryan Cohen a multi-billionaire over and over again on top of what he's done now. He's already much richer than Noto, so there's no doubt about it. But yeah, GameStop can't buy more than 100 million shares, though. No one can. No one can buy more than 100 million unless you're going to take the company over. And the only entity that can take over Sofi would either be a bank or one of those big mega stocks like Magnificent Seven companies. So if Amazon wanted to get into fintech banking, they could just buy Sofi, have it as a wholly owned subsidiary, keep the management in place with a 5-year contract with all kinds of incentives, and swallow the company at $50 a share, and away you go. But GameStop could come in here and go, we'll just nibble up the stock while it's under $20 a share. We'll just buy it up. And didn't our friend Mr. Ryan Cohen do exactly that with GameStop? You remember, he became the number one shareholder of GameStop as soon as he owned about, 2 million shares. He had about 5 or 8% of the company. And he got up to 14% ownership of GameStop, and he was the dominant shareholder of the firm with the votes. And he had the meme army with him, and that stock took off. Mr. Cohen made every executive at GameStop very, very wealthy, because all those guys who were running that company before Mr. Cohen moved in there, they all had stock options. They all had stock vested over the years, and they were all cashed out at phenomenal prices. They had never envisioned in their mind, because by the time he took over the control of GameStop, the stock was $100+ a share. This is pre-split, remember? So way back in 21, he made, was it Sherwood and these guys? Remember those names? Those guys? All those guys. He made them multi-millionaires. They didn't deserve a tenth of it, but they walked happily out the door with money they never thought they would see. Sofi at $16.90 right now, $17 a share. This is a joke down here. This is an absolute joke. This stock has been constantly beat up by all kinds of writers everywhere, and yet the company delivers results. Mr. Cohen, if he's studying the financials of this company and its performance, it's got to be sitting there going, God, we could take 1.7 billion of our dough, under 2 billion of our 9.5 billion, and get 8-9% of this company in a walk. And I'm saying, Uncle Bruce, your buddy here in Tokyo, Japan right now, I'm telling you that if he were to start 5 and 10 million shares every day, which would be a no-brainer here. It's trading 60, 70 million a day. He can get 5 million a day. He can get 10, he could probably get 20 million quick. He would tie up so much free trading stock, it would now become insider stock. It would now become untradeable, because he would quickly become, GameStop would now become an insider of the company once they break 5%, which means the shares can't be traded like public shares anymore. Now they're tied up stock, which means the free float has just shrunk by 40, 50, 60, 80, 90, 100 million shares. The free float has just collapsed on itself, which now takes the shorters to another level of panic, because they saw this movie. If they watched a movie called Dumb Money, they're going to go, I'm in this movie, but I don't want to be in this movie. And this stock would go nuts. Take a shot at my poll question today. I'm asking you directly, what do you think the shares of SoFi would do? How high would they go if there were a short squeeze created because of an activist investor on SoFi? Would the shares just go 30 to 35? That would be it. 35 to 50, 50 to 70, over 70? You tell me. Tell me what you think. The poll question is available on both formats today. You tell me where SoFi would go if there were a short squeeze on the stock. My personal opinion, 50 to 70 would be a no-brainer to me. It would take nothing to get $50 to $70 out of the stock. It doesn't happen in 1 or 2 days. This would happen over weeks. The momentum would not stop, and it'll be very reminiscent of the GameStop story, because the share volume on SoFi would explode to probably 200 million to 400 million shares per day, because the attraction into the stock by day traders would be irresistible. Day traders would be all over the stock because of its activity and volume and tight spreads. The options will go bonkers. They'll go just crazy. The premiums will really rise on it, just like GameStop did. And it'll be the flavor of the month or the flavor of the quarter. And the stock trading 2 to 500 million shares a day in that crazy neighborhood, yeah, there'll be just flippers in and out all over the place, but there'll be acquirers, but there'll be panickers in the middle of all of it. That's the shorters. The shorters that are short now, and the shorters that would try to go short at 20 or 22 or 28 or 35 or 40, they'll all try to find the high. They'll try to predict the high, and they'll get caught again and again and again and again and again. And this time, on this stock, Wall Street will cover it. Wall Street will cover this story minute by minute. It will be the stock to talk about, just like NVIDIA was a year and a half, 2 years ago. And SoFi will become very quickly a very high market cap company. It'll be over $1 billion. At $50 a share, it's 55 billion. At $70 a share, it's 80 billion market cap. You'll get the kind of action that Tesla used to get all the time. Tesla, remember when Tesla was running? I wouldn't be surprised if it got even worse than that for the shorters. It got even better for the long. Because again, there will not be enough paper to go around. Everyone right now, not everyone, but there's certain people out there who keep talking about how SoFi diluted their shareholders when they did their final fundraising offer. They raised $1.5 billion and then an option to raise another 250 million on top of that, which got taken down. So the company raised 1.7 billion at $27.50 a share. No one talks about this. The only thing that these so-called analysts talk about, these followers, is the dilution factor. They don't mention the price per share of $27.50 a share on a stock that used to do this. Let me show you a couple little charts. This stock, it drives me wild. Here's a chart for it. You remember this one at all, anybody? Let me pop this up. See if this pops up on my screen here. There you go. This is a 3-year chart of SoFi. And way over here, my finger's over here. So way over here, July 2023, okay? Okay, July 2023. The stock was under $10 a share. January 24, it was under 10 a share. July 24, it was under $10 a share. It was Jan 25. You see this? We broke 10 only to have Dumbo, the current Mr. Orange over here, screw it all up in the entire stock. He screwed the entire stock market up with this so-called big, beautiful, make America great again, import duty nonsense. He crashed this stock to 10. He crashed the market by trillions of dollars. He then changed his mind and modified his stance. Well, look what it did anyway. July 25, and look what we went to, into the 30 range. You all remember the high of the stock, 32 something. This company sold stock at $27.50 a share. What's wrong with that? You know what's wrong with that? Nothing is wrong with that. Here is the last year, again, from Orange Boy's debacle right here, April 25, only a few months after he got reelected. Here it went. It recovered. It got it all back and broke 20 and broke 30. And way up here, the company raised $1.7 billion in cash. And of course, look at this chart right here. If you wait a moment, it'll pop up here momentarily. This stock shows us from December, just Christmas time, end of the year, right there. There we go. January 26th. And now look at the dump ever since. And here we are at these prices. This is the last week coming up right here for you. It blows my mind. It just blows my mind. Here's the last roughly 5 trading days. We've been, mainly under 18 bucks a piece with that little blip right here, as you saw the other day, that short sale blip. Well, look at the recovery on it. And now we're back down to here. Unbelievable. Kids, the company raised $1.7 billion at $27.50 a share. I call it genius, absolute genius move by this outfit. The best move you could have made. They're cash rich with all the nonsense going on right now. They don't have to worry about being short of capital. They're expanding at, 10, 11, 12, 13,000 members a day. Probably 400,000 members a month now, 1.2 million members this quarter. Unbelievable growth. They're going to be bigger than Costco's membership of 50-something million. Or is it 80? I think GameStop has 50 million members. These guys are going to be, 100 million members. Those are customers. One of the largest banks in all of the United States. These are early days. And the stock is $10.70 cheaper than what they sold 1.7 billion shares for. Blows my mind. If an activist investor were to make a move now, this is the time to do it. When everything is negative about this, about the economy, the market, the world situation. This is the moment that a 65, 70-year-old Warren Buffett would go, now I'm going to buy because I'm buying when everyone else is selling. And this is when you get into Sofi and you go, I got 5 years. I got 10 years. No problemo. I missed it the first time around. I'm not missing it this time. And here it is. I think an activist investor could make themselves a huge favor, scooping up this free trading stock, becoming an insider of the company through technical laws of the SEC. And the next thing you know, there's a whole bunch of paper that just isn't available anymore for the shorters. And here's the question I have for you folks out there who are wondering, listening to me, wondering where am I going with this? Why is it that shorters are bragging about the fact that they're short the stock at $17 a share? Did they just start shorting it now? Wouldn't you think that if there's something wrong with this company, something seriously not correct with this company, wouldn't you think that these shorters would have been shorting at $27 to $32 a share? Like you wouldn't believe. And they would be saying, we just bought back our position. You'd think they would have bragged about the fact that they were short the stock when it was 32 bucks a share. I wonder, and I wonder if you wonder, is it possible that a whole bunch of shorters have joined the party from 20 down to 17 and only just gone short? Which begs the question, how much lower do they think it really is going to go? What is it they're in for on a short position of Sofi? If you short Sofi at 18 bucks a share, are you happy that it goes to 17 and you made $1? Is that the risk reward ratio you're looking for? Or if you sold it between 18 and 20, you think it's going to 10 to 12 again? Is that where you really think it's going? 60 cents a share earnings this year expected. They're delivering it. At 10 bucks a share puts 16 times earnings. That's unrealistic. There's nobody's going to trade that low. $1 plus $1.10 a share next year expected earnings at $15 a share is 15 times earnings. So how low do you think, as a shorter, this stock is going to get? What's the downside here? Isn't this the downside? Is this $16, $17, $18 neighborhood? Wouldn't this be the downside from 32.50 high trade only 60, 70 days ago? Remember GameStop in 2020, when I made my first video about GameStop on this channel? I believe I released it June 2020. The stock was $4.80 a share, pre-split. This is before the 4-for-1 split. Okay. The stock was $4.80 a share, which is like $1.20 now, just to kind of put it in perspective. $1.20, GameStop, $1.20 a share. There were 75 million shares shorted on GameStop, and only 74 million shares existed. And only 50 odd million could trade, because 20 million were held by management, insiders. And yet the stock was $1.20 a share, adjusted for the split, pre-split, $4.80 a share. They shorted that stuff at 40, 50 in there, then down to the 30s, the $20 range, the 15 range, the 10 range. They will short 75 million shares at $4.80 a share, and they weren't buying it back. And I asked at that time, I've asked 1,000 times in the first year I started covering that story, why weren't they buying the stock back at $4.80 a share when they had started shorting it into the $40 range? 90% profit isn't enough for a shorter? Because the answer is simple. COVID was raging. All the shopping malls were closed. Nobody was at work. You couldn't travel very far. And people thought they were going to go out of business. And they wanted the last 10%. Here we are with Sofi from $32.50 to $17 a share in less than 90 days. And we got 138 million shorted out there. Is that the number now? 130 something million shorted? And they're not buying it back? $16.90, $17 isn't good enough for you from the short position you created, where you have unlimited losses available at a moment's notice. How long do you think it would take for Sofi shares to go from $17 a share to $27 a share the moment the street got a whiff, a sense that an activist investor just bought up millions of shares of Sofi? Just think about that. We're talking about sitting. It's like we're Yosemite Sam sitting in a rail car full of dynamite, and we're lighting a match to see where we are. I think we're in that kind of a position on Sofi stock. This is my personal opinion. Throw it out the window if you want. Don't pay attention to me. Call me an idiot. But I'm telling you, I'm warning you, I think we might be on a precipice of something massive. It only takes one little spark to set this thing off. And I think these shares are so oversold, overshorted. And if you aren't getting the hints from Anthony Noto himself, there's nothing he has to say to anyone. There is no interview he has to give to anybody. He doesn't have to justify the company's performance to any analyst. He doesn't have to go on the Jim Cramer show. He doesn't have to go on to Fox Business News. He doesn't have to talk to CNBC or Bloomberg. He doesn't have to do any interviews. He's doing one thing. He's only doing one little thing to justify, in my mind, that this stock's about to go. And here's the guy who tells you all about the one thing. He's right. It's right here. Just one thing. Anthony Noto is buying the stock with his own money. He's not exercising stock options from the treasury. He's not getting stock at a discount to the market because he's the CEO. There's no sweetheart deal for Anthony Noto to get stock now at 15 a share when it's trading at 17 a share. Anthony Noto is buying stock on the open stock market, and then he's filing insider trading reports like he's supposed to, and he's telling the world, 3 weeks ago, I bought $1 million worth of stock, and 3 days ago, I bought another $500,000 of stock with my own money. That's all he has to do for me. That's all I need from Anthony Noto. I don't need anything else from Anthony Noto. He has done more than enough. Now, if he buys more stock, God bless him for it. And this $1.5 million turns into $3 million because the stock is going to go to 34, 35 in the next year. And then it doubles again and he turns that into 6 million. Hey, you had a chance to join him. You what Anthony Noto did. You didn't have to buy $1.5 million worth. You can buy $1,000 worth of Sofi right now. You can buy 100 shares. You can buy 5 shares. You could buy 55 shares. You can buy 358 shares. Whatever you want. $16.90 to $17 a share. Join the CEO and put your own money into Sofi if you want. I don't know how much easier this gets. I don't know how much easier it gets. I'll tell you one little story because I know some of you like stories. Having been a stockbroker back in the late 70s, 1979, and through the 80s, and then being a financial advisor through the 90s. I cannot tell you how many of my clients that were new, been with me a few months, had been with me for a year or so, or been with me for 5 or 10 years. I cannot tell you how many stockbrokers that I personally knew and managed, stockbrokers that worked for the firm that I was managing. I was their manager. I had dozens of them working for me. And they would come to me for guidance in good times and bad times and everything else, mainly bad times. I cannot tell you how many, probably directly and indirectly through these brokers and my own clients, I probably have recommended to thousands of investors on an individual basis and another golden opportunities to make a move in a stock when it was incredibly cheap, whether it was a financial crisis in the 80s, which there were many, or in the 90s, 2000s, and now on this channel. I cannot tell you how many times I have told people out there, this is your moment to grab something that is on a super discount clearance rack, and you're about to see something hit 88 miles an hour. And when something hits 88 miles an hour, you're going to see some serious, guess what? This is the stock right here that is primed and ready to go. And a spark will set this thing off, and there'll be no going back. Because just like GameStop, when it started in December and January of 2020, 2021, and I started going live to an army of people out there who found me. I don't know how, but you found me. You all witnessed a mother of all choices on GameStop. I don't anticipate this stock to do what GameStop did. Remember, GameStop went from $4.80 a share when I started following it. It had once been a $2.10 a share, by the way, in the summer of 2020. At $4.80 to the $15, $20 mark, to the $40, $50 mark. Remember those days? 60 to 80 a share, 100 a share. No one thought that was possible. 150, no one thought ever. 200 a share, unthinkable. 300 a share, are you out of your mind? And higher. This stock is not in that category, I don't believe, yet. However, the number of people that know what happened with GameStop and witnessed it and found out about it later when they kind of dug into the story a little bit. They saw the movie, Dumb Money. There are, I believe, millions of people out there who are waiting and looking for the next GameStop story to break. And they want to get into it. And they've tried it with Krispy Kreme and Kohl's and that camera outfit and all these other stocks. They've been looking for the meme stock to be a meme stock. The difference here is that Sofi is not a struggling, maybe they're going to make money, maybe they aren't going to make money company. They're not trying to invent a new thing like banking. They're exploiting an existing business that is primed for a massive change, which is the old little town bank that we all remember in the movies. And you kids out there who were children when your parents used to go to the mall, to the bank, or you'd go downtown and wait in the car while mom went into the branch, or you were in the back of the car while mom and dad were playing with the ATM through the car window. Those days are almost over because no one gets paid by a paycheck anymore. It's all electronically deposited into your account. Sofi is the de facto future of banking. And these guys are successful now. They're going to be incredibly successful tomorrow, unbelievably beyond successful next year. And they are going to be part of the S&P 500. And so this stock is in a different position. This company is in a totally different position where many other companies were. But there's one thing you cannot avoid, and that is 130 plus million shorted. An activist investor picks off 20 to 50 million shares trading stock at any time. At any time, that word gets out, and it will get out. This stock is a double instantaneously. Within a week, it's 25, 30 bucks. And within a month, it's $30 to $50 because it'll just spread like wildfire. It'll just absolutely explode on itself. And there'll be others getting in. There will be other investors going for 10 and 20 million shares each to get into this thing. Because you're going to see dozens and dozens of hedge funds jump into Sofi stock at 25 and 30 and 35 and 40. They won't jump in now because they don't want to be first. But they'll be the 15th or the 25th or the 125th company into the game. Because once they see the movement through here, through this 20, 30, 40 level, then they're getting in. Because now they know, oh yeah, I'm just adding fuel to this fire. This thing's going to $100 a share. Just saying, the speculation will be wild. And you will not believe how fast and vicious it's going to be. Just a guy wearing his Stock Market with Bruce t-shirt with the scrolling message down here. You want to learn how to be a stock option writer? You want to learn how to make money on GameStop without even owning the stock? Become an option writer. You can write cash secured puts and not even own the shares. You can offer to buy Sofi stock at whatever price you wish and get paid to make the commitment up front. It sounds too good to be true, doesn't it? Yes, it does. But it's a fact. You can be a casino and take money off the table through credit spreads, through cash secured puts, and not even own the stock itself. And you can make yourself a wonderful return on your money. But hey, you got to step up and grab some option classes. Go to my website, stockmarketswithbruce.ca. Get your ass over there. Check out the classes. I would recommend you start with class number 1 and then take number 2 and then go to lesson 3 and 4. Consider it a stay-at-home college class that you should have learned you should have learned this in high school, but they don't teach this in high school. The good news is I have 19 lessons available and they're on sale right now. Buy 3, get 1 free. So for $600, you get $800 of the classes. And you can watch them again and again and again and again and again. It is all in plain English on how to become an option writer and learn how to do this and take money off the table from incredible gamblers out there who are dumb enough to just buy contracts. Like I said, I'm just a guy in front of a computer who's been offering this service since 2021. And thousands of you have gone out there, picked off classes, and you're making a living off of it. God bless you, and thank you so much. Saying hi. People are saying hi to me like crazy, and I'm ignoring them. How's everybody doing out there? Aviator Charlie Juan is here. Waverly, there's Mark 5D. Charlie is here. Oh my God, he's on the air twice in 1 week. I can't believe it. Tavares, Murray, what's going on? Who else is here? Emmanuel is here. Lurking Angler Fisher. Mega Prime Supreme. Zeta State. How you doing? Computer Whiz. Aurora's here. Good morning. Great to see you folks. Thank you all for joining me. It's great to have you around. Bryson is here. Who else is here? Just quick hellos to everybody. Vilbus. Thank you, Kneecaps. What's going on? Who else? Christina's in here. Is in the house. How about that? Thank you for saying hi. Back to the basic buying shares, GameStop. And weekly, beautiful stuff. Andre Delatorre, one of the greatest names the internet's ever seen, as far as I'm concerned. Andre Delatorre. It just rolls off the tongue. How you doing? Welcome. Who else is here? Charlie. There's Charlie. There's Richard. Carlin is here. Hi there. Familiar names, everybody. They're all here. The big dog. Robert is here. Welcome. Corinne. Boeing Tiger. I'm trying desperately to see all the different names and say hi to all of you guys. Great to have you here, and thanks again. Whether you're just writing covered calls that expire every Friday, or every second Friday, or every third Friday of the month, whether you're doing stink bids, stink offers on writing contracts, whether you're doing credit spreads on calls or puts, whether you're doing iron condors, you're doing poor man covered call writing. You don't own a single share of any stock. You're just doing poor man covered call writing. There are classes all about that. And then there's the good old cash secured put writing. Oh my gosh. How many of you have done cash secured puts over the years and have changed your lives? It's incredible. Thank you again. Kent, hello there. How is the boy doing golfing? How is his golf game going? Is he doing all right? I'm so curious. I'm so hopeful. Jen and I talk about him all the time. We keep an eye on the names. How's school going for him? DH Investing, Lazy Toaster, Rodens is here. Walter Young, good morning, sir. Nice to have you here. Thank you all for joining. Are you taking advantage of my poll question? Are you answering the poll question this morning? I got 94 results so far from folks who are answering this question. I believe the question is this. I believe a short squeeze on Sofi would move the stock up to a certain dollar level in 90 days. 77% seem to think that the stock will kind of hit, that high all-time high level, 30 to 35. 14% think 35 to 50, 4% figure 50 to 70, and 5% of you figure 70 and above. I'm in the 4% category. I think 50 to 70 bucks a share. You folks have no idea what will happen with this stock if the word got out. On the other channel, on the other show where I'm on a vertical format here, I guess for iPhones, 30 votes have come in on the poll question. Try to find it if you can. 77% say $30 to $35. 13% are saying 35 to 50, 3% 50 to 70, and 7% say over 70. So I guess it's going 35 to 50, and if it's going over that, it's going over 72. They're going right for it. There you have it. Thank you all for participating in that poll question. Please answer it if you can. Give us your best opinion. I say, I'd be curious to kind of get your thoughts on it. What are your thoughts? Giddy up. Matt Flips is here. Good morning, Uncle Bruce. I got assigned 500 shares on Sofi yesterday. I covered calls at market open and closed a couple hours later for 20% profit. A wise man once said, I like this game. I tried to show off my sweatshirt over here. You see that back here? It says, I like this game. but it's in the shade there, and it's probably poorly positioned, but I wear it all the time. I like this game. Midwest Cannabis is here. Welcome to the show, all of you. Thank you for saying hi from wherever you are. I'm in Tokyo, Japan. I head back to Calgary next week on Tuesday. So in 5 days, I head back home to Calgary, where the market will be open for me from 7:30 in the morning until 4:30 in the afternoon. Whereas here in Tokyo, the market opens at 10:30 at night. And it closes at 1 in the morning or later. No, much later. Sorry. It closes at what is it? My brain is fried. I can't think. I think it's 5 in the morning, and I can't stay awake all that time. So I'm kind of looking forward to getting home. TD29. Hey, are we talking about activist investors now? Isn't that bad? No, it's good. It's very good for shareholders. Yeah, what can I say? I'm saying, folks, that I'm not looking for an activist investor who's an enemy of SoFi to get involved in the company. What I'm looking for, what I'm half expecting could happen, is a large investment entity, a hedge fund, some kind of a fund, will move in and pick off stock and take a bunch of free trading paper off the market. And I'm saying a perfect candidate would be a GameStop. They would be perfect to do this. The CEO of GameStop, Ryan Cohen, is 37 years old. Perfect. He's got 10 years. Yeah, let's give this thing 10 years. But any kind of a hedge fund that's operating on behalf of large investors with a 5, 10, 20-year time frame, oh my God, could they make money buying up this stock right here and buying up millions of shares, doing themselves the ultimate favor, becoming an activist investor in the sense that they would buy more than 3% of the company, more than 5% of the company, but not more than 10, and then just sit on all that paper. And that paper is no longer free trading paper without first reporting to the SEC your intention to sell. That would create a short squeeze. That would create a short squeeze on the 136, 138 million, whatever the number is now, of stock. And that's just a tiny little sliver of panic. That would pop the stock to 25, 30 right now, just like that. But I think, and I believe, the way this market is primed and looking for something good to get into, this will go to 30 to 50 and beyond a share very, very quickly with heavy volume. So one builds the other. For GameStop, it would be perfect. 1.7 billion in cash out of the 9.5 they got. This stock would probably double in price in the first 30 days. That'll turn their 1.7 into 3.4 billion. So they're 1.7 billion richer. They've only got, 450 million shares out there. That would add $4 or $5 a share book value to the GameStop. That would put them at $28.30 a share in on the market. They'll break that $31+ a share level, get to 35. All the warrants will get exercised, giving them another $2 billion in cash, which is more than they would put into this deal. Hello, is anyone over there awake in Texas right now? Is anyone around in Texas? GameStop could use less cash that they're sitting on to buy into SoFi right now. And because they make that move into SoFi, the shares of SoFi will rise so much in value that it would trigger the value of GameStop to go up over 30, 35 a share, triggering all the warrants to be exercised, giving GameStop another $2 billion in cash. Does anybody get that? No. I don't know. I just don't. I just go, how easy do you want this? My phone doesn't ring from these guys. I could make billionaires billions, but no one calls me. Maybe it's because I'm on the road. Maybe that's what it is. Hey, I'm awake in Texas. Velbus, get over to GameStop and wake those guys up, will you? I'm just saying. I'm short a couple $100 million there. There you go. What can I say? Dude, hey, let's freaking go, Uncle B. Midwest Canada's God bless Texas. There you go. I tell you, man. it's just I cannot begin to tell you how easy and straightforward this is. 1 + 1 = 10. I just going. I remember a Saturday Night Live skit back in the 80s when Dukakis was running for president against George Bush Sr. This is when Reagan was finished with his 8 years. And they were doing these mock debates on SNL between the George Bush character and the Dukakis character. And they asked the George Bush character a math question, and he said, "I was told there'd be no math." And they then looked over to the Dukakis character, and he went, I can't believe I'm losing to this guy." Because Dukakis was way smarter than the Bush guys, but America didn't elect them. No. Hey, you get who you vote for. You get who you vote for. But oh my gosh, I don't know. Just what can I say? Isaiah say, I remember back a few years ago, Uncle Bruce was talking about Rocket Lab day after day when it was $4 a share. Look at Rocket Lab now. Yeah, there's another one. So sorry. Mojo Mama, is that Mojo Mama? How you doing there? Good to see you this morning. It's morning over here, Uncle B. Midweather, that SNL sketch. Yeah, I remember that. What can I say? Are you going to be live next week for GameStop earnings? I wasn't planning on it. I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to be suffering from jet lag and time change issues for a while, so you're going to have to cut me some slack here. I've been writing on those daily Rocket Lab moves, by the way. Giddy up there, Vilbus. Silver and gold getting hammered. Isn't it amazing how gold broke, $5,400 a share on all kinds of economic uncertainty, and now we have economic uncertainty, and it's falling. Doesn't that blow your mind? It's crazy. H Ghost, Mr. Ghost, Uncle Bruce. There you go. Hey, I'm ready for a short squeeze, Bruce. I acquired 400 shares of GameStop, SoFi, 1648 a couple of days ago. There you go. You're ready to roll, baby. You're ready to make money. Yeah, I tell you, kids, the moment that the street sniffs out any kind of activist investing, similar to what Ryan Cohen did with GameStop, once that story got picked up and got and it became obvious that, oh my God, there's a buyer buying up all the GameStop shares. Back in December of 2020, the stock went from about $6-7 to $15, $16, $18 a share through December into early January. The street quickly figured this out, and that was already a quadruple of the stock. The stock was down to like $4.80 a share, like I said, in June. Now it was like $20 a share in January, early January 2021. It's gone up 400%. And all the pros, all the professionals on CNBC, all those talking heads were saying, oh, you want to sell out now. This is ridiculous. The stock can't possibly keep this kind of value. The valuation of GameStop is way out of whack. And then what was it? 2 months later, it was $350, $400 a share. Yeah. Ghost is asking, can SoFi run here somehow, some way? Yeah, whatever. If there isn't a move on GameStop next week, I'm going to let my shares go. There you go. I think that GameStop is on the precipice of a move, no matter what they do, because they were at 24 something a share like a week and a half ago on their own. GameStop is making all kinds of money right now. Most people don't realize GameStop's doing well, actually, quite well. Nothing to do with oil. Interest rates don't matter. Unemployment doesn't matter. GameStop's going to make money. But SoFi could make all of you, I think it will eventually make all of you very rich anyway. That's my humble opinion. It was $4 a share 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 4, 5, 6, $7 a share. You're all going to get very rich on SoFi again, and richer than you've ever been. But with an activist investor making a move on SoFi, which can happen at any time with anyone, all hell's going to break loose. And there will be no time to think about it. You're not going to have like a week or two to kind of, well, maybe I can sell that, and then I'll buy this, and I'll get into Sofi. It's over. You're going to miss the $16, $17 window. You're going to miss the 18 window. You're going to miss the 20. You're going to go, oh, I got to 20. I'll go back to 16 and I'll get it. I'll go back to 16. It'll go to 24. And you think, I'll go back to 20. I'll get it. It won't go back to 20. It'll go to 28. When it gets to 22, I'll buy it. It won't go to 20. Yeah, it's going straight up to new highs. Then there'll be some consolidation. And then it doubles from there to the 60s and 70s. Yes. That's what's going to happen. I just don't know what minute this takes place. I don't have it. This ridiculous Muddy Waters thing that came out. Talk about oh man, I don't know how these guys aren't in jail. Well, I do know why they're not in jail, actually. Yeah, but they couldn't have done this 2 years ago. They would have been in jail 2 years ago, but they can do it now. But they won't be able to do it 2 years from now or 3 years from now. But anyway, it's wild times. But an activist investor getting into Sofi now, all hell would break loose. Oh my God, all hell would break loose. Larry Titus is in the house. How you doing there, buddy? Good morning. Good to see you, Uncle Bruce, Auntie Jen, and everyone. Auntie Jen is in Calgary, so she's not on the air. But she's well. She's alive and well. Big Dog, it'll be like Rocket Lab. Sofi will be just like Rocket Lab. Andre Delatorre, Sofi, 1685 pre-market. Time for more cash secured puts for me today. There you go. How fitting the name, Muddy Waters. How fitting the name, right? These guys are bragging about being short the stock at 17, 18 bucks a share. Why weren't they short at 32? If these guys are so freaking smart, why weren't they short at 30, 32 bucks a share? They talk about the dilution factor. Then why didn't you short it at 27.50? I get the impression that they shorted the stock at 17, 18, 19 a share and made a couple of bucks on it. I get that impression. I don't get the impression that they made, they shorted it way up here. They certainly didn't disclose that, did they? If they had, I think they'd disclose it. So, I don't know. Maybe they needed to release their little to drive it a little lower to then score their gain. And don't forget, remember this, they didn't have to own or short Sofi to make money on Sofi on the downside. They didn't need to short the stock. They could have bought puts. They could have been sitting on thousands of put contracts that expire this week, next week, the week after, the month after, the month after. They could have had 1,000 puts or 200 puts or 800 puts on every position at various strike points all the way forward to Jan 27, Jan 28. Not a single share shorted. And they could have just flipped those puts for 30, 40, 50, 60% profit. You don't know. I don't know. You know why we don't know? They don't have to report it. The SEC doesn't make them disclose these positions. SEC protecting you, right? Yeah, right. Unbelievable. Just a guy in front of a computer. Just saying hi, everybody. Vilba says that the premium you can get on Rocket Lab covered calls at $15 to $20 out of the money is pretty nice. And there you go. That could also be the case for Sofi if it were to go into the 40-50 range. The premiums on those 60s, 70s. You remember, was it 2 years ago when GameStop did that run to 50, 60 bucks a share? And some of you were writing $100 calls. It's unbelievable. Yeah, what can I say? Just around the corner. Very possible. Yeah, cash secured put writing on Sofi. Poor man covered call writing. You could buy up, say, $10 calls on Sofi right now and write calls on the $10 calls. Yeah, could do very well with that. I'm pretty sure if the stock wants to go up, you'll say, thank you, sir, may I have another? You'll do roll-ups. You'll do rollovers and watch your calls go up in value as you roll forward your others. Oh, yeah. Easy peasy, nice and easy. Yeah, it's all there. In any event, kids, I hope you enjoyed today's show. How you doing out there? Thank you for joining in. 171 of you are watching. So, one micro audience following this story about an activist investor could get involved in SoFi. 1.6 million investors could be out there following this story, but they don't follow options, so they don't follow me. And I'm not on every day for 2 hours a day. I understand that. I am on vacation, But hey, what can I say? I'm just a guy in front of a computer in Tokyo, Japan, where it is now 10 o'clock in the evening, 10:06 in the evening. The market opens in 24 minutes. I'll be watching the opening to see how it cranks. It's pre-market, 1.5 million shares at 1682. It's irrelevant. Let's see what the market really does when we get started. I keep waiting for someone with a following out there, like maybe, I don't know if it's a YouTuber, but someone larger than that who will say what I said today. One activist investor or one large hedge fund grabbing 30, 40, 50 million shares of SoFi at these levels could trigger a massive panic buy wave of short sellers and a massive greedy buy wave of retail investors and hedge funds on SoFi to higher highs than you've ever seen before, irregardless of a short squeeze player. You remember now, GameStop in January, February of 2021, there was one guy who dared say to the retail investors of GameStop, sell your stock now at $20 a share while you can, because it isn't worth it. This guy was short the stock. You remember that? He's been since charged with criminal activity. That stock, within 48 hours of his so-called online spiel and making his case, I think it was on Twitter, that stock was $40 within 48 hours. And within a week, it was $80 a share. And what's his name? Andrew Little? Anybody remember this guy? This is a long time ago for some of you kids. Some of you are 30 now, we're only 24, 25. You may not have been following the market back then. Anyway, that guy got burned big time, and his clients, they got wiped out. And then it turned out he's been charged by the SEC with all kinds of manipulation and front running and all kinds of nonsense. Who knows? He's trying to get a pardon from President Trump, by the way. He's trying to buy one. He's trying to buy a pardon so they won't be charged. Yeah, well, we'll see. Anyway, kids, thank you for saying hi and saying hi to me. Thank you for participating in the poll question today. Latest results of the poll question: 127 votes have come in now on this horizontal broadcast on the poll question. 75% of you think that the SoFi shares could reach 30, 35 a share if we had a short squeeze in the next 90 days. 16% of you are thinking 35 to 50. 4% thinks $50 to $70 a share, and 5% think over 70 a share. And on this vertical format, which is iPhone friendly, it looks like 32 votes have only come in, only 32. 72% think 30 to 35 a share, 12% 35 to 50 a share, 9% 50 to 70, and 6% over $70 a share. Like I say, I'm in that camp where 50 to 70 is definitely doable if this were to take place. I really believe it. If we had a short squeeze on SoFi because of an activist investor making a move into 20 million to 100 million shares, I think the shares will very easily break $50 a share. They'll get to 25, 30 very fast, like days. Then that 30 to 40 will take a week or two, but it'll be relentless. And there'll be waves. But there'll be speculation and news and coverage, and everyone will talk about it. It'll be like the talk. And the stock will trade 100, 200 million shares a day, 250 million shares a day, even 500 million shares a day. Every day. That's what SoFi will do. Remember, GameStop used to trade 500 million shares a day, and there were only 75 million shares in existence. There were 75 million shorted, so that meant 150 million total shares flying around, of which 25 million couldn't trade. Of 125 million that could have traded, GameStop traded 500 million a day. Sofi has 1.2 billion out there, and 1.1 billion is free trading. 600 million is held by institutional investors. 400 million by retail investors. 100 million gets picked up by activist investors. That means there's only 300 million left to trade. 200 million shares a day of volume. 300 million shares a day of volume. This stock is gone. That's what I'm talking about. I'm just saying. Thank you, everybody. Ghost, thank you, Bruce. Appreciate it. John, hey, see it's 1680 on the pre-market. Spicy, it's there. It's cheap. What can I say? Good luck to all of you. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for these private emails. Thank you for those of you who are picking up these classes. If you want to get 4 of my classes for the price of 3, you need to send $600 US dollar donation to paypal.com. There's my name, Bruce Farmer. Traveling with Bruce is the name of the account. And then send me a private email at brucefarmer@hotmail.com and tell me the 4 lessons you would like. Go to my website, stockmarketswithbruce.ca. You'll find the classes available there. And just tell me which 4 you want. If you're brand new to this, start with the first 4 classes. I can't make it any clearer than that. There are 19 lessons available. Pick the 4 you want. You buy any 4 you want. I don't care. Get the last 4. Get the middle 4. Get any 4. You want to buy 8? Just double this. You want to get 12 classes? Triple this. You want to get 10 classes? 4 times this. You want all 19 classes? $150 times 19 classes. Get your calculator up and send me an email. I just sent you $150 a class for all 19 classes. I will personally email them to you. Okay, there you go. Thank you, kids, so much for joining me today. 17 minutes away from the opening. I hope you make a lot of money today and get rich, rich, and rich. Those of you who are making a move into SoFi, this is your chance. I don't know how long you got, but that's your chance. Thank you all so much. And have yourselves a wonderful day. Thanks again for your support. I will see you at any time. I can tell you right now, the minute this thing goes, I'll be live. Oh, yes. I will be live if this thing were to start to pop. There's no doubt. But I think the recipe has been done. We're about to pop this cake in the oven and watch it rise. Just saying. Thank you, everybody. Have a great one today. We'll see you next time. This is Uncle Bruce saying goodbye from Tokyo, Japan. I can't believe I'm saying that. I just love it. And I appreciate you all so very, very much. All the best. Bye.